Hi there, and thank you for being with me today on my You Don't Have to Live with Pain patching series. I'm so glad to have you here today to talk to me about this incredible patching system from a technology company called Lifewave, and to go into some details with you about how we can relieve pain for illness and surgeries today. Now, my pain series has been 4 weeks is a 4 week series, and I'm on the third one now. And the two prior ones, you can catch them if you haven't seen them before on my Suzanne Roth-Paul Lifewave YouTube channel. I'd love you to go do that if you haven't, and you can subscribe. That would be even better. But you can catch up and watch those before next week's pain patching series into this series called Headache Pain. And I'm going to be giving away some freebies. I'll have a little raffle for 3 different people. So I hope you'll join me on next week. You have to be live with me and have seen all four of the series. So I would love for you to do that, and hopefully you'll get a lot of good information and support on how you can relieve pain for yourself and for your community. Now, if you're new to Lifewave and or me, I'm Suzanne Roth-Paul. I'm a certified primal health coach and the author of the Poisons in Your Pantry ebook. Now, I'm all about living your best life without toxins and poisons in your body. And so I'm going to I'll probably be touching on throughout the talk here on how important it is to pay attention to what you're eating, because what you put in your body affects your pain levels, because we know that inflammation is what causes pain. So it's very vital that you are taking good care of yourself and eating well and right, especially if you've got a illness. So you've got like a virus or a flu or cold, or you've gotten something, that is chronic, that's been with you for a while, then it's really important to pay attention to this. And then of course, if you have an impending surgery coming up. So so let's get started on what we're going to talk about today. And I have a little outline here. And before I get into the outline of this, so I do want to mention that this product review and these patching options are for information purposes only, and that anything that you're going to hear about today with regard to Lifewave and the patching are my personal experiences that I've had either with myself or my community. And these Lifewave patches are not intended to treat or cure any disease or medical condition. So it's really important, if you're watching or you're recommending this product to anybody, that they check back in with their medical practitioner or whoever they're working with, and make sure that the patches are appropriate with them, especially if they're taking medications, because these are non-transdermal and they're very, very safe. But you do always want to do that and be careful and mindful of that. Okay, so today's illness and surgery pain outline, we're going to talk about illnesses and surgeries and the types thereof. We're going to talk a little bit about light therapy, how these patches work, and then we're going to talk about the patching options. And I'm combining them in a format that, as if you've seen these series before, I'm kind of doing layering how we patch, either by stacking them, grouping them, and or just starting at the top and working your way down to mitigate some of this pain. So X39 and 49 will be the first thing we'll talk about. Then we're going to talk about the YH system, which is eon, glutathione, and carnosine. Then we're going to talk more specifically about Energy Enhancer and Ice Wave. We'll put some attention on that because Ice Wave is really about the pain mitigation that we all want. And then we'll wrap up with SP6 Complete. We're going to talk about that patch. And then I'll do a little quick whole body pain option with some images that we can look at as another way of patching for those chronic issues where people aren't getting good results. And then last, of course, we'll have some tips for recovery. As a health coach, I always have to weave in some great things for you to do that are outside of the patches, but also supporting the patches. All right, so we're going to talk now about the types of illnesses and surgeries. We have common illnesses like viruses, flus, respiratory issues, and allergies. We have fatigue, autoimmune conditions, which is rampant right now, chronic fatigue syndrome, which is an oldie, but it's still very common today. It's lumped into autoimmune. And then you have mold and Lyme diseases, or mold issues and Lyme issues. And these things are really they cause a lot of fatigue. So this is going to be something we're going to talk about quite a bit today with the energy patches, for instance. Then you've got infections and food poisoning. So we can patch for those as well. Common surgeries that can happen are accidental wear and tear, which is bone, ligament, and tendons. Then you have organ issues and removal of gallbladder, spleen, liver, and kidney, which are your key detoxifying organs, play a very big part in pain management. Then we've got colon issues and even dental. I'm not going to talk a lot about dental, but please know that these patching protocols are really good for dental surgeries like implants, because we know dental surgeries are very painful. So you've got implants and you've got root canals and those sorts of things. So keep that in mind as well. And then other things that you can work that we can talk about that we're going to be discussing primarily because these are more hormonal and they deal with both men and women, C-sections, hysterectomy, and prostate. And that's going to be something I'll touch on all these things as we're going through the patches. Okay, so now let's talk about how Lifewave can help with their how Lifewave patches can help without harmful medications and surgeries, which is another reason for my coaching protocols that I do, because we want to keep people off of harmful medications and avoiding unnecessary surgeries. So phototherapy is what these patches are based on. You can see on the bottom right, there's a sample of what the patch looks like. And these patches contain a very specific combination of organic materials and nanocrystals, which are embedded in the white section of the patch. They combine these organic materials and nanocrystals that when applied to the body, they're activated by our own body heat. And then they begin to emit a very specific wavelength of light that stimulates targeted and beneficial biochemical responses in the body. So again, nothing is transdermal. It's not going into your body. It's basically just these patches using heat to reflect off of your skin and go into the system like you would with the sun hitting warming up the skin on your arms or on your body and activating the hormone vitamin D. The sun doesn't give you or provide vitamin D, but the light on your body helps activate it. So this biomodulation is the basis of our Lifewave phototherapy patches and our technology. And let's see, I wanted to just mention that these patches work immediately upon placement as well. And this is a unique phototherapy product that is really using our own body heat as a power source, which I think is really an incredible way to think about them. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the first patches that I'm going to talk about are the X39 and 49. Now, these two are signature patches. I encourage everybody to wear, especially the X39. The 49 is being used for some other benefits, and that's why I put it here so that you could see the powerhouse of these two patches and how they work synergistically. They activate copper peptides in our body, which is what helps regenerative healing and anti-age reversing. And they activate this copper peptide called the GHKCU is the X39, and the X49 is the AHKCU. And this is what is activating your own stem cells that are dormant or injured for repair and regeneration. And that can be anywhere in your body from, your blood cells, your skin cells, and your liver cells, and every cell in our body. So in general, that's what these two patches do. They're going to go to wherever the need is for regeneration and for healing. So the X39 activates your own dormant stem cells, as I mentioned, because as a result of that, and that is what is causing rapid pain relief and inflammation reduction. And that's what is so rampant in today's society with our pain is, aging is what is causing a lot of this because our cells are being polluted with toxins. And this is what this patch is able to do, is get in there and clean up, so to speak, your cells. And it promotes wound and scar healing. You'll experience better sleep and stress release. Stress relief, which I'm going to talk about today being really important, is the levels of stress that you have impacts how much pain you have, all the way up to skin appearances, which is really good for if you have a surgery or if you've got scars where you've had to be cut on. It can help with rapid healing. Now the X49 also, I've talked about it activating your dormant stem cells. Rapid pain relief can happen in with the 49. I do have clients that use that as well when they have osteoarthritis. So keep that in mind that if you're trying the X39, it's not working, and you've got X49 for a particular pain point, try it. That's what these options, that's what this series is about, is trying these different options. What's great about the 49 is it supports cardiovascular function and blood vessel and blood flow to blood pressure. And those three things are really important for surgery issues, because we have cardiovascular issues off the charts right now. And then finally, bone health, which is really important if you've broken a bone. X49 is very good for regenerating and helping those bones, your own bone cells, start recovering and healing. All right, so the next patch that we want to talk about, our system, is the Y-Age system. Now, this is a powerful patching trio as well. And the reason why I grouped it together is because these three are what we're going to use and consider when you're for surgeries. Now, I love this trio for traveling and emergencies, because if you only have one of these, you can use it in many, many ways for mitigating an emergency that's happened or an injury. But, I'll start with the Eon because it is probably the best patch to have in your toolkit, because it is about stress reduction. And I just mentioned that when you have high stress in your body, you have pain. So it's decreasing inflammation right away, and it's very supportive of your immune system. And so if you've got X39 on, let's say that's our signature patch, it's all you have and you're wearing, and you're not experiencing any pain relief, it's because you're still inflamed. And so the X39 is getting in there and starting to do the regenerative work, and that can hurt before it feels better. And when you put the Eon on, it can help with reducing that inflammation right away, and it makes the X39 work better. So we want to remember the Eon at point of pain. It's very good for that. If you've got the X39 on your neck or below your belly, these are the two places for the X39 to be placed, and the 49. And so sometimes you can just put that on and put the Eon on the point of pain, and you're good to go. Now, carnosine is what's unique about it. It has some stress relieving qualities, but it's considered an antioxidant and inflammation support as well. But what I really love about this one is the tissue, muscle, skin, and organ support. So when you have an injury, again, you've got all of those things that can be supported and hurting during, because you've gotten an injury. Let's say you've broken a leg or something. A lot of people end up tearing muscles when they're weightlifting, that sort of thing. The carnosine is beautiful for that. Then we move on to the glutathione, which this is the patch everybody should wear every day, because glutathione is the master antioxidant for all of our cells. So, and David Schmidt, our founder of Lifewave, talks all the time, if you don't have a healthy cell, you can't get well. So glutathione needs to be worn when we are at severe illnesses, when we're really sick with flus and viruses. If you've got toxicity of mold in your house, Lyme disease, those types of things, your little system needs a lot of support, and those cells need a lot of work, need a lot of help to do their work. It's very supportive of the immune system, and especially infections. And so we've got a lot of things happening here with these infections that we're talking about that some people don't know where they're coming from. But if you're wearing this every day, you're getting that support. And I have clients that love wearing glutathione for pain mitigation too, which means that they obviously are very inflamed in certain areas, and their cells need that support. Now, I'm just going to touch here before surgery and after surgery. We really, really emphasize that you should be wearing at least a couple of days before surgery the X39, which is giving you that overall activating your own stem cells and giving you that immediate preparation for the stress levels that you're going to be inducing if you're going to have a surgery, and glutathione, because glutathione is going to support your immune system, and you really want to go into a hospital situation as strong and healthy as possible. We know that now with all of these viruses and conditions that are in hospitals that are so dangerous and harmful. So keep that in mind for before surgery. After surgery, same thing. You want to be wearing the X39 as well. I do introduce on occasion would recommend the X49, especially if you've broken something, for helping bone support. And also just the two work beautifully together. They activate different copper peptides, so it's good to have them together. And of course, the Y-Age. So what we do with this Y-Age, the carnosine glutathione, is we put that on the point of the surgery. So after you've had a surgery, incision, anything that's happening in the area where you were where you had your your surgery, you want to patch in that area around it. And these can be patched on top of casts. They can be patched on top of wraps, anything that you have for, surgeries that wound healing, that sort of thing, you can patch right on top of it. They do not need to be touching the skin. So keep that in mind. I think that's a really important thing to do, to keep these together for those types of circumstances. And let's see, next we're going to talk about energy and Icewave. Now, Energy Enhancer and Icewave, you've heard me talk in the past, if you've listened to me before, that they sometimes can be used interchangeably. And I like to say, if you're in an emergency and all you've got is Energy Enhancer and you're in a lot of pain, then try it. You've got it, use it. But we do want to focus on Icewave more for pain today. But I'll go through the Energy Enhancer first. And both of them have what we call yin and yang polarity and balancing. And that's basically meaning that you're getting your body back into homeostasis when your body is balanced. A lot of injuries, a lot of unnecessary surgeries, or surgeries in general. If you're injured, you're not able to get better, so you have to go in and have a surgery. Usually it's because you've got imbalance in the body. And so these two patches come in this particular patch system comes with two, both of them, and you have a tan colored one and a white colored one. And the tan usually goes on the left side of the body and white goes on the right, white on right. It's easy to remember. But I've had some circumstances recently where some specialists have been saying that some of us are on different polarities than others, and you can switch them. So always remember, if you try them and they don't work, especially on either of these, you can switch them. And sometimes you might find the results are better. Some specialists have found that. So we've got nervous system support that's happening with the Energy Enhancer. So what it's doing is calming down anything that's going on in our system that is, agitated. And what I like about the energy is that it's very supportive of the body, about this kind of going into the homeostasis I mentioned, because when everything's well, then you've got vitality. So this is really important. It's based on, that's why people go to acupuncture and why people do yoga. There's this whole balancing act that is required for your body to stay well and not get out of balance and start having diseases and disorders. And what this is great for a lot of my clients too with the energy is, I'll talk about congestion and allergies. That's one of the things in the illnesses I spoke of. Colds, flus, and sinus infections. We love using the energy on our face. And so I've got a couple of clients that put the energy patches right next to their nose for chronic nose dripping and chronic itchy eyes and things that have to do with respiratory issues. So use these energy patches for things like that. That's moving that stuck energy, that's moving out these infections that we have, or these allergies that get into our bloodstream. And so that's very important to use them for that. Fatigue and other illnesses uses are when you're bedridden and you're exhausted. I had a client that was diabetic and she couldn't get out of bed. And after about a week, to 10 days on the Energy Enhancer, and she was using a lot of them. We have our Energy Enhancer patching locations, and she was wearing 5 of these every day. And it took a little while because she'd had a condition for years, and before I came in to support her, and she was able to get out of bed, and the daughter called and said she was gardening one day. So that was like within 10 days of years of just being miserable and having no energy. So it's very good for supporting fatigue. And a lot of us wear that when we have stressful days, and we put them on our bodies for that particular reason. A lot of us love wearing them on the bottom of our feet. David Schmidt's a big user of putting both Icewave and Energy on the bottom of the feet for a level of balance that is, again, getting our body back to where it needs to be to start healing. Infections and food poisoning, again, we want to get these things out of the body. So think of this as moving the energy in your body, which is so critical because we're energy beings. That's what we're made of. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Icewave here. And what I really like about Icewave is that it can be put on immediately for immediate results. And this is this is what's so critical is I saw it in action just recently. I see it on myself all the time, but it's really fun to do this and see it in other people. So a doctor had me in her office a couple of days ago, and she wanted me to patch before they went into her clinic, which she's a chiropractor. And so before had some adjustments, and this one particular woman had back pain. So we did the ice wave patching protocol, and we do a clock method. And if you're not familiar with it, you put the tan patch on the point of pain, and then you put the white patch above it, anywhere in the proximity. You ask, is the pain resonating up very high? Is it going to the left or to the right or down? And sometimes they can tell, but sometimes they can't. So we just start on the 12 o'clock right above in this area. Didn't feel any relief, went to the 3 o'clock, felt a little bit. She said it was out of a 1 to 10 was a 7. And so I kept moving it. And we got down here to the sweet spot, which was at 6 o'clock. And she said, that's where I feel really good relief. I said, well, let's keep trying. So we went around and did the 9 o'clock. And she said, no, I'd like the 6 o'clock, but put it back down to 6 o'clock. So we did that for her. She went into her appointment. And a few minutes later, the doctor came out. She said, I want a couple more of those patches. I want to put them on the opposite side of her body to see if her muscles have relaxed so that I can do a proper adjustment. And she said, the right side that you patched is definitely reacting better, and it's more relaxed. So sure enough, it proved that it worked. So this is how quick it can happen. And this is what we really do want to emphasize on IceWave is you want to get that in there when you've got chronic pain. And again, when we talk about you're wearing the X39, you've got a break or a restrain or a torn muscle or anything, you want to get in there with the YH system, place that on the point of pain, and then you can put this ice wave around it with a clock method. You can stack them together. You can add it in the trio of the YH. There's so many great options for you, but using these in a creative manner, and when you've got them all in your patch pocket, so to speak, you've got the options there for you. Broken limbs, surgeries, or broken limbs, like I mentioned, organ placement. You could put both these patches can be put on organs for moving stuck energy. Now, our organs, like our kidneys and our liver, our pancreas, and our gallbladder and spleen, they're so toxicated a lot of times that they can't do the work they need to get the toxins out because of our pollution in our foods, and especially our foods. And so it's good to place them and give them some extra TLC. And it's another reason why it's so important to have a clean diet when you're hurt and in pain, because you're not going to heal. You're not going to let those organs do their work for removing out the toxins we're burdened with every day, and then getting your organs to start supporting you on healing. And then finally, again, C-sections, hysterectomy, and dental work. We're just saying I've had dental clients that have called me before surgery, and some of the dentists will let them come in and be patched around their face. I mean, it can be in the way and intrusive, but this woman asked if she could, and she was able to patch with the YH around the area of the root canal. And I think she was using primarily YH, but that helped with inflammation. And she didn't have a lot of pain afterwards because we patched her with IceWave. And she really, within 24 to 48 hours, she didn't have to take any pain medication. So here's the rule of thumb. If you patch yourself for pain and the doctor sends you home with pain medication, please don't use it unless absolutely necessary. Sometimes they'll make you feel like you're reducing inflammation with them. And yes, it can, but it's a harmful type of it's a harmful way of reducing inflammation. That's why we love the patches. Okay, so let's see if there was anything else I wanted to mention about that. I did want to mention just really quickly that 8 out of 10 people experience rapid pain relief as soon as they put the patches on. So please experiment with people you know, and 50% experience immediate relief within seconds. So those are pretty high numbers, especially for those that are open to being able to try this. They've got to be in such pain they're willing to do it. All right, so next we want to talk about SV6. So this is our last patch that we're going to talk about. How are we doing on time? We're still all right. So what I love this patch. SP6 is one of my best friends for hormone balancing in my own life, because I do experience some things where I'm needing that extra TLC, especially for appetite control and cravings. So although I'm very good, I do keep all the poisons out of my kitchen and my pantry. There are times where I travel and I eat the wrong things and I'm not being on my game. So what this is very good for is putting this on for parts of the body. There's a couple of points that I'll mention about where they go, but what it's doing is it's helping you not have those cravings, because it's not about weight reduction and cravings as much as it is getting your body back into homeostasis. I talked about that balance, so that you're not needing those things, because the more sugar you have, the more simple carbs you have, your body craves them because they are chemically addicting. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to see that when you are wearing this patch, you're not really looking in the kitchen for that extra treat when you have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. That's how I found it to be very helpful for myself and for my clients that have been able to get off of sodas that have been harming them, to, the sugar addictions. And it's really not about stopping those. It's about, like I said, helping you to get your body back into balance. The other thing it can do is help folks that are not eating at all. They're very frail, elderly, they're frail, they don't have an appetite. And this is another way it can help for them. So everybody's different. And so every patch is different on individuals. Now, there's a clinical test here that I wanted to just go over with you about improving the physiological function of different organs that we talked about that can help with mitigating pain. And basically, it's in conclusion, the overall data in the study demonstrated that the SP6 patch worn on the ST36 acupuncture point, which you can see here on the bottom left, ST36, that's putting it in that placement, is helping that meridian point. And it induced highly significant improvement in physiological functions of your liver, pancreas, kidney, and these organs, as well as, I'm going to jump down here to thyroid, intestines, and hypothalamus. So they did see improvement with wearing this patch. And again, that's why so many people are having such good results with it. And goes back to when you've got chronic pain and you've got illness from, like you said, infections and bacterias and viruses, that this can help those organs move those viruses and stuff out of your body much faster, because that's what your organs are meant to, these detox organs are meant to do. So it's pretty impressive that this was clinically studied. And then I've got, the proof. I'm watching it with a lot of my clients. And lastly on this, I just want to mention that you've got C-sections and hysterectomies and prostate issues. And those I consider hormonal, because they're primarily women that have a lot of these surgeries, invasive surgeries. And these would be so helpful for wearing before and after you have those types of surgeries. I had a C-section. I've suffered a lifelong of pain with pelvic issues from the C-sections C-section that I really wished I would have known about SP6 and all of these patches for pain. So keep that in mind. And the SP6 in combination with these other patches can really help mitigate a lot of this discomfort from these surgeries. And especially because there's lots of long recoveries. And when you're using these products and these patches for recovery, we're just seeing, catapulted time frames of getting back on their feet again. And that's ultimately what you want, is to be able to get that kind of recovery so you can get back to your life. All right, so next, I have two things I just want to mention here about, let's say you've done all of those protocols and you're wearing the X39 and or 49. You've tried Icewave, you've got the Y-Age that has been helping but not really kicked it. These are a couple of protocols that are really powerful for doing that job. Now, I'm just going to mention here on the right, we have the whole body pain protocol. Now, say you've got all of those patches on you and you've just had a surgery and you've got those, what we've talked about already, you're cranky and not feeling great. We're taking the Icewave and Energy, but I'd start with Icewave if you have it, and putting them on the bottom of the feet. And this is a kidney point. So a lot of times our kidney is really burdened by the stress loads of what we're eating and from a surgery. So you remember, surgeries are very invasive. They're very stressful on our bodies. And so that is if you did that alone, you can see some improvement. And then you'll see on the right, just below the collarbone. So these two locations are really great for all over body pain. And there is a few that really believe putting the Eon on your neck can also help bring body back into homeostasis. With the feet and the neck, you kind of have a triangular shape on your body, so for stability. And I've heard on Lifewave, one of the talks, I believe she was an acupuncturist, talked about this. So that's really good for whole body pain. Please keep that in mind. And then we have a product that's near and dear to my heart, which or a option called the Vortex protocol. So let's just say I'm on the onset of a flu or a cold or something, and I just do not feel good. I was exposed to maybe a group of people that I thought maybe I was going to get COVID, just all of that panicking mode stuff when you just kind of have a scratchy throat. I will do the Vortex protocol and put it on at night, and I wake up in the morning, and I will tell you 99% of the time I feel better. So this is where you're putting key, again, meridian points on the back of the neck. That would be where you're going to be putting, I think you can put, let me just look here. I always put Eon on the back of the neck. Yes, it shows it, Eon on the back of the neck. Let's go on the back first. So back of the neck on the image on the left. And then down at the very bottom is a key area just above the buttocks and the crack area. It's a very interesting placement, but it does wonders for me when I put one there, and then also on the belly on the front. And there are a few people that believe that when you're putting patches on the front and the back of an area, like the front of your stomach and the back, you're kind of moving that energy between those areas because we're three-dimensional. And that's, could be really helping move a lot of that potential illness out. Let's see. Then we've got on between the chest area, if you go up on the right, that's carnosine. Again, that was another very powerful patch for, tissue and organs and muscle and those sorts of things. And then on the neck, we'll put in, that would be, which is the one on the neck. I normally put, what are they saying is on the neck there? I normally put glutathione there. It is showing a location, which is ironic that I do put an extra glutathione there. So I didn't say, but the bottom two are, there we go. Glutathione is going to be on the neck, below the belly button, and no, actually, that's showing a little bit different than what I normally do. Sorry to confuse you, but I would definitely look at this as being the Vortex that I use is glutathione on the belly button above the crack, and I use it on the neck area, and then at the thyroid area, and then I have carnosine between the breast, Eon on the back of the neck. And they're showing here that you can put glutathione on this part. This is your wrist, your part of your hand. I happen to have an Eon is on for doing presentations, so it helps calm the nervous system, but that's another option. So get a picture of this if you want, take notes, but this is really great for a lot of you that are in chronic pain, even after doing a lot of the other patching. And this is a good one to wear just during the day as well, just to keep you safe and healthy from all of the bugs and cooties that are out there today. Okay, so we've got that, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about tips finally here for faster healing and recovery. And we'll go through this quickly because I know we're short on time. Controlling stress, as I said, is really critical. How I do that is recommend to everybody, breathe, breathe, breathe. Breath work is so important, not hyperventilating breath, but deep belly breaths. You want to stretch minimally and get out and walk in nature. Be in nature as much as possible to control stress. You want to minimize or eliminate social media and screen time. You want to minimize processed foods and meats. Those are pro-inflammatory. Watch last week, I talked a lot about pro-inflammatory foods, and alcohol and smoking. All of those things are really obviously intoxicating your cells. And minimize pain med if not in pain. I said that earlier if you're using the patches. And then this is a key, minimize extreme exercise. I cannot tell you how many people like in my family that want to get back to exercise after a couple of days of being really unwell. And I just know you need to give yourself an ample amount of time. 2 weeks is minimum for recovery from something less serious. Surgery, obviously, that's going to be longer. Sleep is imperative because that's supporting stress release. 8 hours plus is what you need nowadays. No longer these 6 and 7 hours. They're proving it's actually very dangerous because if you are going to bed at later than 10 o'clock and waking up, at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're missing your vital detoxification time is when our organs are doing their cleanses. So it's really important to do the 10 to 6 time frame, 10 to 7, 11 pushing it to 7. But pay attention to that when you've got chronic illnesses and surgery, impending surgeries. Rest when you need to. If you're tired, then sleep. And most important, that is, should have been on every page here, is stay hydrated, because these patches are detoxifying you, and they need a lot. Your cells need a lot of water to do the work that they need to heal. Drink water half your weight, half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 100 pounds, which you don't, but most of us don't, you would drink 50 ounces of water, just as an example, and more if you are unwell and if you are using a lot of patches. And then finally, there's always additional supplement support, but I'm just going to touch on one thing. That when I was in chronic pain recently, turmeric is a good food to add, the spice. You can put it on everything. It tastes delicious. Make sure it's organic. But you can get some turmeric supplements as well. But stay tuned. I'll be doing eventually a live, talk and a product review on Lifewave's new supplements that we're going to be introducing. And they're going to be really synergetic with our patches. And David, I believe, started thinking about this because so many people were asking him about additional supplements that they could use for a lot of their pain and a lot of the suffering. And so he figured that, hey, I'm recommending all of these things, and there's not a lot of great options out there that are safe and clean and that don't have a lot of added chemicals and ingredients. So we're very excited about that. Stay tuned for that. So that is it for my talk. And in conclusion here, I just want to thank you again for being here. Sorry for running a little bit running a little late here. There isn't anything that these patches can't do, so don't ever give up, and always know that if you've got a collection of these patches in your repertoire, then you are going to, a patch medicine cabinet, you are going to be able to pretty much help most people, including yourself. I'm just going to mention here is the little Lifewave patch pouch that we love using. I carry this with me all around the world, and I never have to worry about traveling now because I've got a patch for protecting me from viruses. I've got a patch for helping me with pain. I've got a patch for helping me with curbing my appetite and helping me, etc. So this is one of the things I'm going to be giving away if you stick with me into all four of the these talks on pain. And next Thursday, I'll be talking about it at the end, and we're going to be doing a raffle. So you need to be there, and you need to, so we can see your name, and then you'll have to reach out to me that you watched all four of the videos. And I've got 3 lucky winners. I'm going to be doing 3 different things, 3 different gifts. And so thank you again. Our Team in Motion has a website, ourteaminmotion.com. You can find me on my YouTube channel I mentioned earlier. And I really hope that you are getting a lot of information here that you can take and use with your own community. And I hope to see you next week. So bye for now. Thanks for being here.